Mr. Ed here. Today is January 21st, 2018. And today I'm in our St. Lucie yard. And what I'm going to be doing today is finishing up doing our hive rotations. I've been doing hive rotations yesterday and Friday. And Friday I went out to our St. John's yard, did 13 of them. And yesterday we had a group from our bee club, the River Region Bee Club. They came up to the Abbey, and probably about 20, 25 people up there. And we did the rotations of the hives up at the Abbey. Wreck-It Ralph, he took half the group, and I took the other half, and we went on our ways, and we did splits, did the hive rotations up there. And so today, I'm out in the last yard, the St. Lucie yard. Oh yeah, and yesterday then I went and I did the one in Bush, our St. Michael's yard too. So here's our last yard right here. Nope, I've already done the St. Jude yard. And we only had 3 out there, but all 3 of them, they made it. So today I'm in our St. Lucie yard, finishing up. And so what is rotations? What are we doing with rotations? So rotations, we want to do this in preparation for splits. Now, here in southeast Louisiana, I mean, right at the end of January, and today our temperature's got to be right in about the mid-60s right now. And I know folks up north, I mean, golly, y'all still got 3 feet of snow up there. I know, I'm thinking of my buddy Yukon Jeff up in Alaska, there's probably about 10 feet of snow up there. Or Scott Hendricks up in Canada, he's probably got about 4 feet. My boy Dan up in Nova Scotia, he's probably, I don't know, he's got probably an icicle or something. So all you guys up north, I'm sorry for y'all, but you know, down south, we're getting ready, making preparations for our splits. So what is the rotation? The rotation is simply taking your hive bodies and moving the one that's on the top down to the one at the bottom. And so the reason why we're doing this is because the bees have a tendency to move up from the bottom box up into the top box. So this generally was where their stores were. So they're going to move up into this box as the winter progresses. And so what we want to do is we want to get the bees down lower, because bees have a tendency to move up in their boxes. So by rotating the boxes around, we're actually giving the bees the opportunity to move up into their hive as opposed to force them to move down. So it's just a procedure that we do in preparation for splits. Now, theoretically, you know, that's what we do. We take our 2 boxes and we just reverse them. But in reality, it's a lot different, because you're going to run into so many scenarios in this. Yeah, ideally it would just be move the boxes down, and it's great. But there's some times where the bees haven't actually moved up into the top box. Or you might have a scenario where there's, you know, which one's got more bees in it, the top one or the bottom one. You know, which one's got more stores in it. So, you know, you have to actually make a call when you're actually doing the rotations, and you know, hopefully you're going to make the right call. But generally, my theory is whatever box weighs the most, that's the one that's going to go on the bottom, and then I'll put the lighter one on the top. It's just my way of doing it. One of the tools that I've been using the last couple of days are these really, really cool hive tools. Probably most of y'all don't even know what that thing is, but I've been using this thing now for, man, at least 5 or 6 years. I've been using it, and I had the one that I only had one of them, and I had it at the shop, and our CNC guy, Al, says, "What is that?" I said, "Well, that's one of the tools I'll be using to do my rotations in a few more weeks." He goes, he looked at it, he goes, "You know, I can make that on the CNC." And I said, "You can?" And he says, "Yeah." So I gave him my the only tool I had. He cut made the pattern, and then he started cutting these things out on the CNC. And he's actually got St. Joseph Abbey even written on the handle right here. And these tools, what we do with these tools is as we jack up separate the 2 boxes, you stick this tool, and you see it's notched. And that notch, you can actually stick the tool in there, and it'll elevate, it'll split the boxes and hold them. That way you can get your tool in there, and what's going to happen, all that bridge comb that the bees have built during the winter and in the summer, spring, we'll be able to separate that and pop our frames, because the frames on the bottom box, they're going to be stuck to the frames on the top, and you won't even be able to lift that top box. So you need to break that bridge chrome in front of there. And that's another reason why we do the rotations. So we want to clean off any of the bridge comb, the burr comb, any of that comb that's wild on our hives. We want to get rid of that stuff right now. So in March, when we do our splits, we're not going to be having difficulty doing our moving our boxes around. So by doing this at this time of year, we really just give ourselves a really big jump on the when we do our splits. And another thing, these boxes right here, these only have 2 boxes on it, but some of them have 3 boxes on it. And when you have 3 boxes on the hive, for me, I find it kind of confusing when it comes time for the splits. So right now, I'm taking all the boxes, hives that have 3 boxes, and I take the 3rd one and I bring that back up in the abbey. Generally, that was their honey box, and it's just drawn out comb, and there's nothing in it. So it's just something. It gives the queen an opportunity to move up into that 3rd box, and I don't even want that possibility happening. So we're going to keep her down in these 2 down here. There's another possibility. You open up your hive, and well, like yesterday, you've got dead outs in it. That's, I believe that we're probably anywhere between a 25 and 30% loss right now. I think yesterday, about the 40 hives that we did yesterday, we probably we probably lost 10, maybe even 12 of them. So we're right around a 25-30%. The ones at St. Jude, that was 3 for 3. That's 100%. Let's see, our St. John yard, we had 13, and we lost 3 of those, so that's about 20%. So here at St. Lucie, and I didn't open them yet, but we had 9 hives up here, and I think we've lost 3 of them. So there again, that's about a 30% loss. So we're 30-35%, something like that, for a total loss of our hives. But that's why we're going to do splits, because we don't want to buy bees. And I tell you what, there's one thing I hate worse than losing bees is buying bees, because it just doesn't settle well with me. Besides, I don't know what kind of genetics you're getting. And these, we know these bees have survived. If we do our splits, these are surviving bees, and then we can grow with that. So there's a lot of reasoning behind what I do with these girls. But today we're going to do the rotations. So I'm going to put my suit on because they've already got stung. Just walking over here, they stung me. And so I'm going to put my suit on, and I'm going to light the smoker just in case. Yesterday, it really, I didn't need a lot. There's one trick that I do besides using this cool little tool right here. I found that when I open the top, the bees are just they're going to want to come out. So I leave the inner cover on them when I break the box apart, and it really does tend to keep the bees in place. So with the grace of God, we'll go ahead and we'll finish up our yard right here, our St. Lucie yard, and you follow along how I'm doing my rotations, and God willing, you can do yours too. Let's do some rotating. Since I had that camera set up at this end, we'll just start at this end. We'll work our way down. And this one, I've seen a couple bees going in and out. It sounds like there's something in it, but we'll find out whether we got a dead out or not in this one right now. I did see 2 or 3 bees going in, but those could just be robber bees. I don't see anything yet. I'm going to see if there's any honey up here. And it's just drawn out comb. It's just drawn out. Drawn out, and stinking cockroaches. Gross. All right, so let's see if the bees are down below us. No, we got us a dead out on this one. Let's see if there's anything on the bottom of it. See if there's any bees at the bottom of this. Now these bees have been gone for a while because I see wax moth trail in here. I don't see wax moths, but I see trails of them in there. So these guys, these were gone even before the winter set in, because wax moths don't come around in the cold. So I'm going to bring these things, I'm going to put these things on the truck. Just leave it like this. I'm going to put this stuff on the truck and take it back up to the Abbey. So we're going to move over to the next one. And I know that one's got bees because they stung me. So let's do that one. I'm not going to put the smoke on them yet. I just want to open them up and see what's going on inside. And then if I need to put smoke on them, I will. But I know we got bees in here. Should be a pretty good hive. And again, the scenario I said that you don't know whether it's, theoretically the bees should be up here, but if there were no stores up here, the bees aren't going to be up here. And in this case, they're not. Let me see something here, because it doesn't even appear that this even drawn out comb up here. Yeah, so this is just empty comb. So actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the drawn out comb from that hive, and I'm going to set it on this one since it's already drawn out. That way I'm going to give these bees a head start. So let me grab this box right here. Alright, so what I've done is I've gotten this box right here, which was on that other hive, that dead out hive, and I've just put some drawn out comb frames in this thing. Took the ones from that other side that looked really nice and just put them in here. So now we're gonna put these frames on top of this box right here. Now remember, the frames that in here, this wasn't even drawn out comb. So we're actually gonna there's no stores that I'm giving them, but we're giving them the comb that's already got the comb that's already built on it. They don't even have to build it out. So she can actually move up here in the next couple of weeks, start laying, or they can come up here and start putting stores up here. Because it really is, for us down here in the south, it's really going to start opening up within the next 3 weeks. We already got the willow trees are blooming, and I know our red maples are just about ready to start. I'm keep looking up in the trees, seeing if I can see any red up there, but I know the willows are blooming. And I've seen the bees already coming in. This hive in particular, they've already come in with pollen. So they're bringing pollen in right now. So we're just giving them the, in a sense, their jars, so they can start filling the jars up. So let me take this top box off and put that one on it. Now, there's going to be a cluster of bees on this one, I know. So we're going to work kind of fast. And it's not a really big cluster. It's not big at all. Let's see, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames. 5 frames. So we got a nice cluster there. And we're just going to add this to it. Because within, gee whiz, 3 weeks, they're going to have this box all chock full. It will. They just really explode in the springtime down here. So we're just giving them room to go ahead and start expanding early. And that way, by March, man, we are really ready for them to do our splits. All right, so let me put the lid back on this, then we're going to move on down. Now, I have seen, well, there's bees flying in this one. So we know we got bees in here. How many, that we don't know. So again, we won't put the smoke on them. We're just going to open them up and see what's going on. But remember, we do want to change our boxes if they're moved up to the second one. I got this one purple, it's pretty good. Alright, so I can see bees right here through our hole. So I'm not going to take the lid off because I see the bees up here. That's fine. I don't want to break this cover and the bees will just come out. So I'm just going to break the seam here. Now I'm going to stick my tool, my little hive tool in there, because I can feel the bridge comb in there. And I just stick it in the inside of it. Now I'm going to go ahead and start popping the frames off of it. Alright, they're coming out, so let me put a little smoke on them. And I'm putting the little hive tool in deeper to make sure everything is clear. Alright, so now I should be able to lift this box off, set it on the side, scrape off my burr comb, bridge comb, and then do the reversal. Let's see what that works. It doesn't always work like that though. So this box, it weighs at least 60 pounds. Now we still have bees in this box, but they're all moved up here. Yeah, I see there's 3 frames of bees on there, but they're up here. The bees are up here. So now what we're going to do, take this opportunity, we're going to scrape off all this bridge comb. We are not going to go open this hive up. We don't want to disturb them. It's not necessary. All we're doing is rotating. We're not looking to see, oh, is the queen laying? It doesn't matter. We know she's laying already, but not as much as she's going to within the next couple of weeks. All right, so we got that cleaned off. We still got comb underneath this that we have to clean off. So now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to flip this over and take off the burr comb from the bottom. And it's not a lot, but still, we'll take it off. We got that cleared off. Another reason you don't want to pop that top, it stayed on there and the bees stayed in there. So now we're going to pop this off. We're going to set this one on the lid right here because we'll probably have to clean the comb off the bottom of it too. Well, it's all clean, so it's not necessary. So now's a good time if we want to shake out our bottom board. It was clean except for this stick right here. That's when you got some good hygienics with your bees, when things are clean. Now we're going to put our top box on top of our stand. Square it up. Now we're going to pop our lid. Whew, man, that's 6 frames of bees. Look at all those bees. Wow. That's what you want to see. These are healthy bees here. And now we're going to put this box on top of him. See a bunch of hive beetles on here. Let me see if I can kill a couple. That really makes my day. I use the back side of that tool. It's a great squisher. Only 5 of them. But I got them all. All right. The lid back on, and now we're going to put our telescope and cover. There's another beetle, and one right there too. No more. Now that is how almost by the textbook it goes, a rotation goes. So I'm going to move over to the next one now. Now this one, I'm trying to remember, I think this one was a dead out even before the winter. But I see bees coming, they could just be robber bees. Well, let's find out what's going on with these girls. Yeah, the only residents of this thing are cockroaches. Yuck. Yeah, this is a dead out. Let's see if there's any wax moth evidence in these. Barely any drawn out comb. Let's find the drawn out comb. Look. Nope, I don't see any wax moth in this. But that's old nasty comb. This stuff is going to be relegated to swarm trap stuff. I don't like the bees using this. It's good enough to catch a swarm, but I don't want my bees using it. All right, so let's close this one up and move on to the next one. This one's coming up to the Abbey. All right, I know we got bees in this one. I see bees flying. Let's see what their status is. I see bees up in the top. Not a whole lot. So we're gonna cockroaches. I kind of think these bees are still down in that bottom box. There's bees up here, but man, there's a lot of honey. Gee whiz. It's 8 frames of honey I can see in here. But there's no bees up here. You're going to find that cluster somewhere in here. If the bees have moved up, they're going to be in the center part of it. So they're not in here. Oh, I can smell it. It smells really nice. So we're going to leave this one alone too. There's no need to disturb them, because we really don't want to disturb them. All right, I know I got a pretty active one right here because these girls are flying pretty good right now. So let's go ahead and see if we're going to have to rotate these girls. No, maybe not. I don't see a lot of bees up in the top. Yeah, it's pretty hollow. There's bees up here, and there's a couple of frames. Let's see if we got any honey on those frames. I'm sure there are, because I can see some of it is capped. I got that bridge comb that's got the bottom of this thing. Show you some of this honey these girls are working on. So there you go. Honey's right here. Honey right here. Honey here. Honey here. Honey here. And it looks like there. So there's 5 good. Well, there's 2. 5 good frames of honey in here. So these girls, we know they got plenty of food. They just haven't moved up yet, which is all right. They will move up. They'll eat their stores and they will move up. All right. Oh, we're moving on to a box that's got 3 on it. So let's go see what that one's about. I don't know if the camera can see it, but these girls are really flying hard right now. There's one bringing pollen in right there. And again, this is the one that's got 3 boxes on. Now, what I said, at the beginning, I don't want this 3rd box on here. If there's a bunch of honey in this thing, I'll consider leaving it, but I really don't even want to leave it, even if it's got honey. Because if there's honey up here, there's going to be honey down here too. So we definitely I want to take this box off of here so I don't have give the queen the opportunity to come up here and lay, because when we start doing our splits, I don't want to find brood up in this 3rd box. So let's go ahead and take this box apart and see what happens. And again, I'm trying to not use the smoke, but I have to. Ooh, here's my favorite guys up here. It's a Pero. Not anymore. Even a ladybug. I like seeing those. Alright, so I got to show you this. This is what you call bad beekeeping, okay? I got to show you this. Alright. I'm showing you my faults. This is I don't know why I did not put frames up in here, but this is what happens when you don't put frames in the spaces. The bees will build all kinds of weird comb, right? So remember the lesson here, fill up the space in your box or else you're going to get this disaster. But it is pretty. All right, let's take this mess off of here and see where our bees are. I will say this, that is some really beautiful comb. Beautiful comb. Let's go ahead and see if we can break this stuff out of here. How about that? All right, let's knock this stuff off because we don't want this. This was all honey stores, the size of these cells. I mean, it's just huge, huge. The bees are starting to come up now. I say, who's knocking on our door? Mr. Ed! All right, the bees are not in this second box. I can see them down in that bottom box. We're just going to cover this up, put that in the truck, and move on. All right, let's hope that I remember to put frames in this one. But in any case, this box is coming off and going into the truck. Oh, dead out. 'Cause I see wax moth up in here. Oh, this is really an ugly one. Oh man. This is when you go, oh, gross. And this one's been dead out for a while. I mean, it's probably been in September, maybe October, because it is just like gross. All right, I tell you what, I'm gonna spare y'all. Y'all don't even have to see this stuff. I'm gonna move on to the next one. All right, so here's our last one. Got my fingers crossed, hoping it's still alive. I see one of them just went in there. Hopefully they're still alive. I think so. I think this is a live one. This one, this was actually the box that I split last year, and when I do my splits, I put a spacer bar between the two boxes because the entrance that this box had before was in the back, so I put an entrance in the back. When I take that box off, and I put another hive body on top of that, and so that's what this space right here is. So I'm going to take this out. This needs to come out now, even though it's an entrance and the bees do use it. In fact, they're back here right now, but they're just going to have to get used to used to this entrance right here. So we're going to take this box off, remove the spacer, and well, we know we got bees in here, so that's a good thing. Back there up in the top too. And that's probably got something to do with the spacer in the back. Bees coming in using this at the top. We'll find out. Let's see how many are up here. Yeah, the hive is already moved up into the top because here's the cluster. Right here. Here's our cluster. Let me grab the camera and I'm going to show you this. Now this is what I'm talking about, a cluster, when they're clustered up in the top. So here they are, right here. And you can see the bees are pretty lethargic right in here, this region, right in here. But you can see how tightly they are. Well, you may not be able to see it, but there's a whole line of bees here, a whole line of bees here, a whole line of bees here, another line of bees here, and there's some out here, some out here. So the bees have definitely moved up. Our queen is now in this top box. So I'm going to put that lid back on here, separate this off, take it off, take the shim off, and do our rotation. And there's going to be, because that 3/4 inch gap right here, there's going to be bridge comb between this box and this box. That's for sure. So here's where we're going to use our tool. Stick it in. Hold it. You see how it holds it? It just holds it for us. Now I can come back here. It doesn't appear that any of our frames are attached, so we can go ahead, maybe actually lift this thing off here. It's free now. So we're going to pick it off of here and we're going to set it right there. That's probably about a 35 pound box of bees right there. Now you can see all the bridge comb I was talking about right here. But we're going to remove this shim plate right here. It served its purpose and now it's no longer needed. I'm going to be building more of these. And now we're going to just remove this comb right here. There's hardly any bees in this box right here. Alright, so I'm going to take this, put it on the side, if there's a comb on the bottom of it. Everything is good. There are no bees in here at all. They're all up here. Take this on the side. We know we've got comb underneath this, so we're going to have to lift this up and scrape it off. Do this kind of quick because the bees are starting to get a little aggravated. Alright. And now we're going to go ahead and just set this right onto our stand. They're just all going right back inside right now. Now we're going to put our bottom box on top of this. And then our inner cover on top of that. And there you have it. Our hive rotations are complete now in all of our yards. All of our hives are done. And we did pretty well in this yard. We had 9 hives and only 7 of them, only 2 of them died. So that's less than 25%, but somewhere between 20 and 25% loss. So that's very good for us. I think our average is like 30% is supposed to be considered average, and okay, so we're below the average on this one. So that's really good. So I'm going to close this video. I think I'm going to close it with some pictures of our shots with the River Region Bee Club yesterday out in the fields, and close it with that. So thanks for watching. Keep on watching, and I'll be making more. God bless. Mr. Ed, I'm out of here until the next video.